welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today we're going to turn all of these apples into a few different recipes. Now each recipe is going to have its own video, so keep an eye out for those. We are going to use my dehydrator to make some apple chips. We're going to make some more apple butter because it's my dad's favorite. We're going to make homemade applesauce, and we're going to use the leftover scraps to make homemade apple cider. The first thing we're gonna have to do for all of these recipes is get these apples peeled, cored, and sliced. So let's go ahead and do that now. So the first thing we wanna do is get a nice large bowl with some water and lemon juice. This will prevent the apples from browning as they kind of oxidize in the air. So if you just sprinkle in some lemon juice to your water, it will prevent that. Then we're going to want to wash our apples. Up next, we're going to peel and slice and core our apples using this tool here. So you're just going to skewer this onto the end and start turning. And it is that simple. This machine will slice them into rings. I am going to take off any of the ones that have skin. You know, it missed a few pieces of skin here. It's really not a huge deal. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice them in half like that and toss them in our water to make sure it doesn't turn brown. Now, I'm not going to get rid of these cores or these peels because that is what we're going to use to make our vinegar. So let's keep going. About an hour and a half later, we finally got all of these apples peeled, cored, sliced, all of that. I'm going to save the scraps for our vinegar, and here are the apples for our recipes. So let's go. To make our vinegar, I have this 2-gallon jar that I think I'm going to use to ferment all of our apple scraps here. I also have these that have more of like a clasped sealed lid, which I think I'm going to put the vinegar in after it's done in this. This will just save me from having to dirty up a bunch of different jars and things. So we're going to take all of our apple scraps here and just put them in our jar. You can use any container as long as you fill it about halfway full. Now this is actually pretty full, so maybe I will use one of these other glass jars here. But you're going to want to fill it halfway full, and then you're going to fill the rest with water and a little bit of sugar. And then we'll just put the rest in our jar here. Now we are going to fill our jars with water, and I'm going to use my filtered water from my sink. And we need to add 1 tablespoon of sugar per quart of water. Now this is a gallon, so that's 4 quarts. So we're gonna add 4 tablespoons. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna stop it kind of right below the top here, the kind of rim. And now let's fill our big jar, which is 2 gallons. Now we need to add our sugar. This is 2 gallons, and there are 4 quarts per gallon, so I need 8 quarts, 8 tablespoons. All right, I'm going to stop right there, right under the rim. And we're going to give both of our jars of sugar, apple scraps, and water a nice little stir just to get that sugar incorporated into the water. And now we're going to need to cover these with a breathable cloth. So you could do a paper towel, a dish towel, whatever you've got. And then we're going to secure it with some sort of rubber band, or I may have to go to twine for this bigger one. I went and found some brand new clean hair ties that we're just going to place around the rim here. And there we go. Now you are going to want to make sure that your apple pieces, or you could use pears too, stay below the surface of the water. So every day I'm just going to open these up, stir them around, and recover them. Now you could use something like this. This is actually made for fermentation. They are lids and springs that go on mason jars. The spring holds all of the scraps down, and this lid has a special vent that lets air in. I had so much though that I didn't want to waste a bunch of empty jars on all of this vinegar. So I could either find something to kind of weigh it down but still leave an air gap at the top, or I could just stir it every day. Now these are going to sit somewhere kind of dark and not super cold but not terribly hot, so I'll probably just stick these in my pantry, give them a stir every day, and let them sit for about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks we will strain this out, and then we'll let it kind of finish the process for another 2 to really, it could be up to 8 weeks, just depending on how tangy we want our vinegar. So let's go ahead and stir our vinegar. So these have been sitting on my counter and they've just been kind of in a dark area, and you can kind of see the top gets a little brown, but when we mix it back in, it'll be fine. And when we mix, there's a really good sign here because look at all these bubbles. It smells like it's fermenting. We'll just cover this one back up and let it keep going. Here's our smaller container. Again, it's just brown a little bit on top. I just want to show you that it's kind of brown on top, but when I move it down in, it will be just fine. And you can see all those bubbles coming to the top there. That's a really good sign. And again, we'll just cover and check on it again tomorrow. Okay, it has been 2 weeks now, so it's time to strain out our solid bits from our fermented apple peels and cores, and then let the alcohol turn into acetic acid, which is our vinegar. So what I'm going to do is dump this into a fine colander here just to get the larger chunks out. But I'm also going to line it with some cheesecloth to help kind of, strain out the finer bits. We're going to start with the big one first. Now, as you can see, it's kind of gotten cloudy because I've stirred it so often, but I still have lots of peel and core chunks in here. It smells very alcoholic. I have stirred this every single day for almost 2.5 weeks now. So it should be nice and ready to strain and get fermenting further into the vinegar process. So I'm going to very carefully pour in there. Probably went a little too fast. All right, really this would have been easier to do cheesecloth second. So we'll pull it out. Okay, second jar. All right, and then I'm going to secure it with our hair tie that has worked really well to hold the tea towel on. And then we're just going to pour this right over our cheesecloth to get any bits we missed with the colander. Okay, now that we have it strained pretty much through the cheesecloth, it's still a little pulpy, but I may strain it again or I may not. We'll just see how it goes. We're going to cover this again with a breathable towel, cloth, paper towel, something like that, and secure it. And then we'll put it in a dark place for probably 8 weeks. Around the 6-week mark, I'm going to check it and taste test it to see if the alcohol has turned to vinegar and see if I like the sourness of it. After about 8 weeks, if it tastes how I want it, then I will go ahead and put it in a container and seal the top so it no longer can breathe. We have all of this left over here that's going to go into the compost. And there we have it, homemade apple cider vinegar. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this. And I hope to see you guys again very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.